There you go. Welcome back to the show. This time around, kita try benda baru. All right. For those of you watching this, thank you so much for watching. The difference is we also trying to go on Clubhouse sekali. So there's a link to Clubhouse if you want just talk through Clubhouse, boleh. But if you're wondering, we're going live on Facebook. I've got Rafiq here. Is a licensed financial planner, so we can ask. You can ask any questions. Anyone in Clubhouse nak tanya apa-apa soalan when it comes to finances, just put up your hand, raise your hand, we'll bring you up, and then you can ask the question, then you can go on down, no problem. And then Rafiq will answer it for you. So, how are you doing, Rafiq, first of all?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just a bit tired. I've been doing training whole day. But I'm looking forward to the session today. I think the topic that we're going to discuss is actually very interesting. Because it's also related to people's behaviors with regard to spending, which is something that is close and dear to me, right?
Correct.
And to be honest, okay, so this experiment with Clubhouse and everything, actually, if it works, it would be my first actual session in Clubhouse.
Not bad. Okay, what? So this one you kill two birds with one stone: Facebook Live and Clubhouse sekali, because that's how we roll. Because we all champion like that. So anyway. Our main topic today is buy now, pay later, good thing or bad thing. But that doesn't mean you cannot ask any other soalan ke apa-apa soalan when it comes to finances that you have. We will try our best to answer it. If you show up on Facebook, on the Wealth Vantage Facebook, you can type out your questions there sekali if you nak. So it's senang. We'll read it out, we'll post it out. But if you nak just tanya pasal just with your audio, boleh, no problem. Okay, let's start off with something that we posted on Twitter. What do you call this? Twitter recently. So we posted this on Twitter. It says, people on Twitter, what you thought, buy now, pay later, good or bad, share your views. And a few people came back with some interesting points of view, which not questions, but actually good advice in a bit. This one coming from Suraya, who says, I maintain it does more bad than good to society, but it's okay to be used responsibly. Talking about buy now, pay later. Okay, sure, people are terpaling disciplined with money, think they are immune to the passions of consumerism. So it's true. Okay. I'll be honest, myself, I don't know about you. Okay, Rafiq, so you've told this story before when it comes to credit cards and paying and then get into your trouble when you were in the US. I used to be I had a point where I was very disciplined, where bayar straight away, pay back. That's credit card punya. But then after that, tak apalah, next one. Oh, bonus coming lah. And then it just piled, all right? So that has happened as well. So I won't say, tak pernah jadi. So we've got more actually good, not advice, people's response to that tweet. So let's read a few more from the post from the tweet, and then we'll hear from Rafiq your idea of good or bad. Okay, while we wait for that, okay, we got one. You might feel tempted to try buy now, pay later. But the things is, buy now, pay later concept lebih kurang dengan pembelian melalui credit card. Sebenarnya, you are using future money to get instant gratification. Not to forget, kadar interest pun tinggi. That's an interesting point too. Okay, so let's get straight into it with Rafiq. Rafiq, what do you think? Buy now, pay later.
I think so this whole concept of buy now, pay later has actually been around for a long time. Yep. Okay, it's actually been around for a long time. So it's not now that is something new that is being introduced, things like that. It's just that it's been introduced in different ways. So if let's say we sit during our grandparents' time, so it's like buy and bayar ansuran.
But okay. And also there was buku 35.
Yeah, buku 35. So all of that is a concept of buy now, pay later, because and the thing is, it actually boils down back to, I think the word that Suraya was using was consumerism. So it's actually more towards how disciplined we are in terms of managing our money. So I think earlier this week, one of my clients was asking me with regards to how do I decide whether should I buy something or not.
That's
Okay,
a
uh,
that's a tough
should
question.
I buy something or not using credit?
Okay.
So which is actually the not that far from the concept of tonight,
Correct.
buy now
Buy
pay
now,
later.
pay.
So
Credit
then I
is
said how I would look at it. How I would look at it. I would utilize credit cards, especially in this case, or even buy now pay later schemes, if I have the money to pay it with cash.
oh,
So so
okay.
assuming
So
okay,
in other words, you
so
have the
assuming
money,
hmm,
but you
okay
you you
okay
okay.
so okay so let's take the normal credit card easy payment plans.
Okay.
Okay,
The-
let's take the normal credit card easy payments plans. Okay, so actually most of the credit cards easy payment plans that are available now, if you read the fine print and everything, it actually is 0%.
yes.
So as long as you pay your monthly amounts, you
On
pay
time
what you're
and
supposed to pay on time.
what you're supposed to pay. Yeah, correct.
So basically, if you're the type that doesn't leave any credit card balances and everything, yes, you are not paying extra.
Yeah.
And then you can basically take advantage of the fact that instead of a huge amount going out at one time,
Yep.
you're paying it in smaller chunks, smaller
You're
chunks.
spreading
So
out the payment lah.
yes, you're spreading out pain. So um if but like I said, if you have the cash to actually buy it, so means that actually can actually afford it. You can actually afford it. So because if you
Yep.
notice, most of the posts or most of the responses that people are saying is actually for people who can't afford it, but you're doing
Yeah.
buy now, pay later.
Correct. 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 Correct.
So if you can actually afford it, means you can actually there's actually no harm for you to pay it in cash. It's just that that might not be the most efficient way of managing your finances if you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
know what you're doing. Yeah.
If
So
you're not
but
disciplined enough, it can run away from you very easily.
correct. So if you're not disciplined enough, then it's a double-edged sword because the thing is this whole buy now pay later, especially with credit cards, right?
Yep.
You only see it when you get charged on your regular monthly intervals. So,
Correct.
example like with my Maybank credit card, it actually I think comes up on somewhere after the 17th of each month.
All
So
right.
on the 17th of each month, suddenly okay, if let's say you have a few, then all the transactions come up one, two, 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 two. But the thing is, if you're not tracking it separately,
Yep.
it's not shown anywhere. Like if you go into Maybank to you
It's
don't see, oh, these are all the easy payment plans that I have ongoing right now. It doesn't say that.
correct. Correct.
So you
Correct.
actually
Correct. Correct.
have to track it manually. And this is actually the trap that most people get into, which then increases their credit card debts. Is because, okay, so let's say this month, okay, even like in my case, so let's say this month, okay, I bought something 3,000 ringgit. I say, okay, I take easy payment plan, 12 months. So I pay 250 a month. I can
Correct.
afford it, no issue. So I pay 250 a month. So maybe like 2 months from now, I said, okay, I probably remember or don't remember about the earlier easy payment plan that I did. So then, this TV looks nice.
Something
Oh,
new.
how much? 4,000. Yeah, 4,000. Okay lah, another easy payment plan. 12 months. So 333 ringgit a month. And the more you do that, because you forget to track, so suddenly
Yeah.
you notice, 17th of the month come, suddenly like you have like 10, 12 transactions coming out at the same time. And it's like, oh,
Correct.
wow, that's like 4,000, 5,000 a month already.
And then you're screwed.
And then in most cases, people get screwed. Most
Yeah.
people get screwed because the thing is, they they didn't have the money to pay off for the thing. So in my case, it's not an issue. So even if I
Yeah.
do that, even if I fall into that, like I said,
Yeah.
for me to even decide to do the buy now pay later, I actually need to have the cash to be able to pay the full thing.
Right. Okay. So
So so
in a
even
what?
even if I do, yeah, even if I do, let's say 10 different buy now pay later,
Yeah.
and all of them like 10 come out in the same month, I should have the money to pay it because I can actually pay the whole thing off
Right.
if I wanted to.
And the weird part is that money you can put for investment. So you put it in a place where it can grow, and then you take it out and pay, because if it's 0% lah, there's no interest to it lah. Okay. Just in case anyone just joining in and wondering what's going on, how y'all doing? We're doing a financial talk on Facebook Live. All right, on Wealth Vantage page, Facebook Live. You can go there. There's a code you can scan right here to get your free financial health check. Financial planners will come and help you out and to do a free screening, but they won't give you tips on how to improve it. That one, you got to engage them furthermore. If not, you just follow them on all social media platforms, because they tend to give a lot of free information, good information and tips. I'm also doing this live on Clubhouse. If anyone in Clubhouse got a question when it comes to finances, just raise your hand. I'll bring you up. You can ask the question, and then we'll get Rafiq to answer it. So hopefully everything. This is the first time we're trying this. We've never tried this before. So the Clubhouse thing is very interesting. I'm interested to see if anyone in Clubhouse is willing to come up like, hey, I got a question, and so on and so forth. All right. So now we've done with the not done lah. We've covered a bit of buy now and pay later, good or bad. You covered it in a point of what you would do, but now look at it at the bad point. Then after that, I want to go on. Okay, if you want to do this, what are the steps you have to put in place to make sure you don't fall into a trap? Because technically it can be a trap if you're not well versed about it. So first, why is it bad if it's bad?
Okay, so why is it bad? Is because you are actually using money in most people's cases that you don't have. So basically, you're foregoing your future income for current gratification. So easiest example lah. I didn't watch the iPhone 13 launch, but a lot of people say it wasn't that great. Okay, but even then, people who are very hardcore iPhone, they will still go and purchase. They will still go and purchase it, and some of them would then be purchasing it on the 0%, and they will have different ways of justifying their purchase. Okay, they will have different ways of justifying purchase. But usually what I say to my clients, okay, I have no issue with what you want to purchase if you can afford it.
Yes.
If you can afford it, go ahead and do it. It's your money. It's your money, it's your life, for your own enjoyment. The issue is when you can't afford it, and then it creates problem for you, then the people around you. Okay? And this is thing, because let's take the need. So it's like 5,000 for the new iPhone 13. So
is it 5,000? I know the one with 1 terabyte can goes up to what, 7,000, I think.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm a 500 ringgit phone guy, so I don't even look at 1,000 ringgit phone, so I wouldn't know the exact price of an iPhone lah, if you were to ask me. Okay, and I only have an iPad because I need it for work, not because I gila Apple.
Fair enough. I ada iPhone, iPad sebab I do a lot of technology stuff. Tu je. Because I'm comfortable with it. That's all.
Yeah. So coming back to this. So basically, let's assume, okay, it's 5,000. So 5,000, if you take, let's say, 12, a 12-month easy payment plan. So you're looking at 400 something per month.
Yeah.
Okay, 400 something per month. Okay, so 400 something per month is actually equivalent to, let's say, a car monthly repayment on the low-end cars.
Correct. That is true.
400 something a month is more than the food bill of some people, of single people.
Yes.
Okay.
And some people can survive with 400 something a month.
Yeah. So and this is where privatization comes in, like if you talk about financial management. Okay.
Yep.
So the fact that you're using this buy now pay later, and then allocating the resources that you might not be able to allocate just so that you get this thing now,
it's
might then change certain parts of your life. So example, if let's say you couldn't have afforded the phone anyway, so you don't have the money to pay for the phone, so now you're paying 400 something a month, so certain parts of your monthly cash flow will be affected. So maybe before this, okay, you can tahan lah until end of the month tak makan Maggi, but because you take it, okay, you decided to go down this buy now pay later, so additional 400 something a month. for the next
Right.
12 months. So for the next 12 months, maybe last week of the month, memang tiap-tiap hari Maggi.
Correct. And the thing you're
Because
buying is a
your money has already gone
depreciating.
somewhere else.
Yeah, but the thing you're buying is a depreciating thing. It doesn't increase your wealth. It's depreciating your wealth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So and that to me is one of the
Downside.
biggest downside lah. The other part is, okay, not all buy now pay later schemes are created equal.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do
So
explain.
so there are buy now pay later schemes which is 0%, really, really, really 0%. Okay,
Yep.
so mostly the ones that the credit cards are doing are 0%, but with the side note that if you don't pay your monthly bills on time, full, blah blah blah, so then you kena the extreme charges of the credit cards lah.
So it's real 0%, but with a trap door lah. So you're standing there and you seal up sikit.
Yes, correct. Okay.
Okay.
There are also other buy now pay later schemes where you need to look. They actually have hidden terms and conditions. So means that there's things like probably service charges that you have to
Oh,
pay,
like
administrators you have to pay, or even like they instead of, okay, so what they do is, okay, we will give you this 0%, but we increase the value of the things you're purchasing
yeah.
first before
Right.
we give you the 0%. So instead of,
The-
let's say, that thing might have costed you 5,000, but because you go under this buy now pay later
0%
scheme,
thing.
the 0%
Yep.
thing, so now the actual cost of that thing actually becomes 6,000 ringgit. So it costs
They add
you,
in the cost there lah.
they added in the cost of their profit that they should have gotten. Yeah.
So it
So
looks
the
like
terms and condition is very important.
yeah, it looks like 0%, but the truth is it's
It's
not
not
the same.
0%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the weird part is for me lah, one thing about buy now and pay later, especially when things depreciate. The crazy part is you're still paying for something the price of that one now. You know what I mean? Like last time, yes, you make sense that price, but now it doesn't anymore. So yeah, it's crazy. Once again, thank you so much for joining in for everybody on Facebook and also on Clubhouse. We're trying to do this two ways because we've never tried this before, so bear with us. If anybody in Clubhouse got any questions, you can just raise your hands. We'll bring you up. You can ask the questions, and then if you want to remain anonymous, so I won't say your name, so that there's no such thing as any stupid questions. So what we're giving you here is tips on how to improve your finances. Go to Vantage Facebook page. You'll find out so many other videos we've done, and also so much other information that you can find out. But today we're focusing on buy now, pay later, good or bad. So just now we covered the bad part. We also covered what Rafiq's point of view. But now, before we continue, I want to say hello to Victor, our champion on who's watched this all the time.
Hi, Victor.
We love you,
How are
man.
you?
Thank you so much for watching
Yeah,
all
we
the
should
time.
give you a top fan badge.
Exactly, you should get a top fan badge. I don't know. He does have a top fan badge. Well done, Victor. You're the champion. Okay. So let's go to buy now, pay later, good. How do you manage buy now, pay later if you want to let it remain being good?
So basically, okay, like I said during like how I would practice on my own. So buy now pay later, if you actually use it properly, you use it under control, can be a powerful tool. Okay,
Like how?
can be a
Do explain.
powerful. So example, okay. So you were talking just now about, okay, buying a phone which is a depreciating asset.
Yep.
Okay. So, but let's put it in another way. So let's say somebody who is actually needs certain technology. So example, like a laptop.
Yes. Okay.
A laptop can cost a bomb. Like a good laptop is like about 3,000 ringgit.
Yes.
Which is, okay, it's cheaper than an iPhone, by the way.
Yeah, correct.
It's
But
cheaper
cannot
than
fit in your pocket.
but cannot fit in your pocket. Yeah, that's true. Okay. So iPhone fans don't come and kill me. Okay, so coming back to the topic. Okay, so So let's say this person who actually needs a laptop for work. Okay, needs a laptop for work. So say, okay, I might not have enough money now, but
Yep.
once I get this laptop, it actually becomes an asset that helps me to generate income.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
To
So
understand that.
it's an asset that generates me income. So then, to me, then okay lah, it becomes your business cost, and it's something that you actually need. It's not a want. It's actually something
You
that you
need.
need, and it has a positive impact lah to your finances
In a weird
by
way,
yeah,
it's like, say someone who is unemployed, tak ada kerja, and then buys a second-hand car to drive Grab,
to do yeah,
where you generate income but pay it off, the loan off.
mm, something
So
like that lah.
it's a positive thing lah, that there's
Yeah,
money coming in.
because the thing that you purchase is an asset because it's creating
Yep.
income for you.
Yep. Okay.
So that it can pay off itself.
Yes. Yes.
So
Maybe
so
not
that is
monetarily, but
yeah.
in
Yeah, not
different
it's
ways as
it's
well.
it's it's not one to one lah. It's like
Yep.
not a one to one. So you probably can even create more income from doing that purchase.
Yep.
So compared to the amount that you're paying for that purchase.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Yeah, because the value created. So to me, that is one situation where I think the concept of buy now later can create value for the person who's using it.
True. True. So
Okay, maybe we'll take
it's
the question.
depending on the value of the thing, whether whatever you're purchasing now will bring back value, in other words, returns to you lah.
Correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
so to me that is the first part lah. Second part is with regards to you being disciplined, meaning you track, because like I said, it's not tracked anywhere.
Yes. Yes. You
It's
have to.
it's not tracked. Yeah, it's not tracked anywhere. So basically, when you do this buy now and pay later concept, so you have to track it manually. So you
Correct.
know from your let's say monthly cash flow, when you do this buy now pay later, how does it affect your monthly cash flow? Can you actually afford it from a monthly cash flow point of view?
Right. Right.
Okay,
Right.
and how does it back? So by doing this, now would you be reducing your savings? Would you be reducing your investment? Would you be reducing some of the expenses that
Your
you need
entertainment.
to pay? Yeah, your entertainment, things like that. So you need to do that, and you should not go above and beyond from once you do that tracking. So you don't go
Right.
above and beyond in terms of what your cash flow allows you to manage,
Correct.
because and then it goes back to the con. So if your buy now pay later monthly repayments is higher than what your cash flow can manage, then you will get into the trap of the credit card. So your your flimsy trap door just now will then break open, and then you fall down.
That's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. I'm going to reiterate the fact that if you do your 0% on your credit card, and then if you think, okay, I put it on my credit card 0%, then I pay minimum amount supposed to pay back, that's when the interest starts popping in. Then it's no longer 0%. So
Yeah.
you better be aware of that. Don't think sebab dia kata 0%, the interest will never come in. If you don't follow their rules, the interest will come in. Just like any other loan payment or anything you take from bank, there's always
Mm.
something. Kalau you bayar lambat, boleh suddenly
Come on.
the thing goes up.
Think about this way lah. Okay, banks are not doing charity. Credit card
Correct.
companies are not doing charity. Okay,
Correct.
you're their source of income. Why would a bank just purposely give you uh, uh, loan? Basically, it's a loan. It's a credit line for free. Because
Correct.
in order for them to then manage this plan, there will still other administrative costs. They still have to. It still goes to the system. There are transaction costs and everything, things like that. So think about it logically. So how would they pay for all of that if it's free?
Yeah.
The money must come from somewhere.
No, nobody does anything for free. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be realistic. Victor has something. Victor on Facebook, for people in Clubhouse watching. Victor on Facebook has a comment. Anyone in Clubhouse got any question? Please raise your hand. I'll bring you up. You can ask your question, and then we'll get Rafiq to answer, who is a licensed financial planner. He's from Wealth Vantage. if you want to watch us on Facebook, also can. Anyway, Victor says, what's the difference between BNPL, which is buy now, pay later, and previous 0% installment scheme? We covered this. Is not much difference, more or less the same. Just covering a wider amount of goods, question mark?
Yeah. So okay. So like I said, the buy now pay later scheme has been around since quite some time. So even from our grandparents' day, so where you have the buku 35, you have the
Yep.
scheme ansuran, then during I think during the time when someone younger and everything. So when people bought the furnitures from this store that was yellow in
Yes,
color,
yes. Yes,
let's
correct,
not give
correct.
any names.
It's
Right.
don't give free plug.
And yeah, and actually when you actually do the calculation, the weekly repayment and everything, you can actually buy 2 or 3 of those furniture if you had actually bought it directly. And
Correct,
I was like,
correct.
I wasn't a financial planner at that time lah, but I was calculating, wow, people will still buy this, huh? Because I said, okay, if you actually can afford to wait
Yep.
and you actually save this amount of money on a monthly basis, you can actually get that thing that you want plus something else plus something else. I was like, but because you cannot wait for whatever reason, so you only get one thing,
Correct.
and
Eh,
you're paying more for that one thing compared to me. So that was then lah. That was then. So then when I started working, and I think it was few years after that. So then Malaysian banks started to come up with a 0%.
right.
Okay, so the not all, it started slowly. So the bigger banks started first, and then I think they saw traction, means from the because it wasn't to all shops. So like what they're saying,
Yeah.
like it wasn't to all shops, it wasn't to all goods. So it was generally the expensive goods lah. So the furnitures, the electrical appliances, and all that. So they allowed for 0%, and it actually helped with the sales of these companies.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So and because of that, more and more financial providers then came into play and said, okay, we should have a piece of this pie.
Yep.
Okay, we should have a piece of this pie, and then it just promulgated. So more and more. So more people actually then started buying things on this buy now pay later scheme,
And
which
it
is
became a
what they
norm.
call the yeah, it became a norm. So it became
Yeah.
easy payment plan. So then it then extended further to services. So like your water filter and monthly repayments and everything.
That's where I'm
So
going to go to.
yeah. So it just continues to expand, because like you said, it actually become a norm. It's actually become a norm.
Correct.
Now it's going to the online purchases that you're doing.
Correct. No,
It's
because
actually going
now
to the
all your online shops all have the buy now, pay later. You can actually opt for that. And then they're giving you points all. Take points from us. But the scary part is if you don't realize it, it if you like, oh, okay, now I can, you'll forget that suddenly the bill will come up and you'll be
yeah,
charged
correct.
if you don't
Yeah.
track it.
That is what a lot of people don't understand. Okay, and
Yeah.
the other part, especially with the easy payment plans with the credit cards, okay,
Yeah.
they might not, it might not be reflected in your balance. Okay, so example,
That
let's say
means
you
your
have a
how
credit
much
limit.
your the credit limit
How
balance is not
yeah, so
reflected.
yeah, from a credit limit balance is not reflected. So your credit limit might still show that you have 5,000 ringgit. Okay, if you had
Right.
actually purchased iPhone 13 at 5,000 ringgit. Okay, but once you actually charge that, just try
Yeah.
using the card. You won't be able to use it.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can't lah. But even though the
Yeah,
credit limit is there,
yeah.
at least that's a good thing lah, bro.
Okay, I think
Because if
JJ
they
is stuck.
allow you, I'm not stuck. I think I'm still moving. You are stuck, my friend. Oh no, Rafiq is stuck. This is the first time this is happening where I'm going to be the financial person. But anyway, I'll take this time as Rafiq fix
No.
his
Yeah,
his
so it's
connection. Okay, there you go. He's back. Okay.
I'm not sure what happened.
Just as we wait, I'll just tell once again, guys, if you're on Facebook, you'll see the scan me now and the links up there. It allows you to have a free financial health check with a Vantage, a licensed financial planner will check all your finances and tell you where your red lines are, where it's dangerous, so on and so forth. But they'll just tell you that. They won't give you further on how you can mediate it, how you can make it better. That you got to speak to them more in depth, because that's what they do. Also follow their social media, Wealth Vantage, Wealth Vantage MY, and you'll be able to get all kinds of different information. So if you're on this live stream, if you got any questions, just come up, post it in the comments if you're on Facebook, or if you're on Clubhouse. You want to ask any questions, just put up your hands. I'll bring you up. You can ask any questions. Because we're trying something new. I've never tried this before. We've never tried this before. So anyone in Clubhouse, please be our first experiment to see whether this works. If you got any questions. Okay, now let's get back to what we were talking about earlier. You talked about the water filter, right? Now I see a lot of concepts of lease. So that's not buy now, pay later. That is pinjam, I bayar. But do you own it at the end of the day? I don't know the concept. So what do you think of leasing then?
Okay, a lease. How to say? A lease is more like you technically, because you don't own the thing that you purchase.
Correct.
If it's a lease,
Yes.
technically you don't own, but you have the option to own it.
Yes, you have the option to own it. Like there's phone concepts also nowadays like that. You get the phone for don't know what, but you lease it, tapi you can bayar, and then at the end of the day, you got option to buy it.
Yeah, so a lease is slightly different than your buy now pay later scheme. They even now have it for cars. Actually, they even have it for cars. Yeah. So because when I was in the state, it was a normal thing. So this leasing thing was actually very normal. So because one advantage for leasing, they're actually targeting people who actually plan to change, let's say their cars or their phones every few years, so that you don't have to worry about, let's say, the cost of ownership, or you don't have to like sell it off, things like that. Okay. Yeah. So those are the target market of leasing companies. Those are the target market of the leasing companies. So yeah, so like there is an advantage of taking a lease lah. So because basically the ownership of the asset is not yours. It's actually the leasing company. You're basically just almost like a long-term rental.
So in the case of like phones, like it's actually a smart thing, kinda.
You're gonna change it from time to time.
Yeah lah, because you're gonna change it to time. But at the end of the day, for me, I don't know. For me, when it comes to lease, it's just like I'm paying for someone else to own this.
It depends, because okay, in certain assets. So when not sure what's wrong with the internet.
For me, the concept is very foreign.
Yeah.
I'm used to the concept.
Okay, I'm not sure what's wrong with the internet today. It's not smooth. I'm not sure whether it's
The
mine.
internet today
I'm
is
on
acting up.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's mine or it's something, because this is I'm using Unify, so I'm not sure whether there's issues with Unify.
Because we're trying to put club
Like,
and
I'm not sure.
no, correct.
To be honest, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening.
It's not yours, it's mine.
It's yours. It's your internet that is me. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
just
you're breaking up.
Unify too. It's just recently the past 2 days, the internet has been really, really bad.
Yeah. Okay, let's
And then it says here
see
something
what.
went wrong. Something went wrong due to technical error. We are working to get it fixed.
This is what, Facebook or Clubhouse?
But it I'm breaking.
Hmm. Okay, so let's wait for JJ to come back. So, okay, it's going to be a bit hard doing a monologue. I'm not as good as JJ in terms of talking. That's hence the reason why we have JJ around. So he's the one that keeps the communication, the flow going. Where were we just now? I think we were talking, well, before the internet issues, we were talking about leasing. So we're talking leasing. So leasing, I wouldn't say that it is it's more like a rental. It's more like a rental compared to okay. So it's not that far off from the concept of renting a property. So means that, okay, you don't own the property. You don't own the property means something happens to the property, things like that. Majority would be, and the normal wear and tear would be the cost that the owner would have to take charge, to take care of. So with regards to leasing, obviously you need to read the fine print of the lease. It's like certain maintenance costs and everything would then fall under the owner, if I'm not mistaken lah. If I'm not mistaken. So, but that would then be based on what I know from leasing backwards in the States. Yeah. So the leasing arrangements in Malaysia might be slightly different, but then if that's the case, whoever that then decides to go for a lease is to basically read the fine print to know what is the responsibility of the leasing company and what is your responsibility as the leasee. So who the person is. Yeah. So like Victor is saying, yeah, it's designed for those who like to change and not to be burdened with disposal, because not everything is that easy to dispose. So example, if let's say you were to buy a car, so as when we take the car out from the showroom, it's already depreciated by 10-20%. Okay. And if you take a loan for it, so you're paying monthly. And when let's say after 3 years, you say, oh, there's a new model I want to take out. So when you try to dispose the car, most often than not, if you take a 7-year loan, especially or higher, the value of the car is lower than the loan that you have to pay to the bank, which means you have to top up money to pay off the car first. Then you have to tambah lagi deposit for the new car that you want to purchase. So there's additional capital outlay. Versus a lease, generally there's no down payment. So when you don't want the car, after you finish the contract, you just pass the car back to the leasing company. So then you lease the new car. So there are financial advantages for those that don't want to be burdened with all of the additional costs, and also don't want to be burdened with the owning of the car in this case. Okay, so that is the concept of leasing. Okay, we are still trying to get JJ to come back in. He's like trying. His internet connection is really bad. Yeah. The thing is, like, not sure how many of you know. Actually, JJ and I don't live far away from each other. Actually, I can actually walk to his house. I can actually walk to that. It does take some time, at least I think what 15 minutes for me to get to his house. If I were to walk there, yeah,
Now,
and he's back now. Yeah, now he's back. Yeah, so it's a bit weird if both of us are using, let's say, Unify. Like, why
yeah,
his internet is not is having issues and mine doesn't have, because technically we're in the same area.
correct. It's and it was so weird because instantly when that went wrong just now, I did, lah, typical Malaysian. open up the speed test app and just test it. It was not even showing one megabit. I'm like, what's going on? Dengan tiba-tibanya the internet tak suka saya, tak apalah.
Yeah.
So where were we?
So while you were gone, JJ, so
Yes.
I explained a bit more about the leasing concept, and then Victor chipped in his point as usual. Thank you, Victor, for helping out. So basically, just to summarize, so leasing actually, okay. So the analogy that I use, okay. So leasing is actually similar to, let's say, somebody who decides to rent a property.
Yep.
Okay. So as somebody who rents, so you are actually not burdened with certain costs that comes associated with owning that property. So you don't have to pay the down payment to buy it.
Yep.
You
Yep,
don't
yep,
spend money on renovating it. You
Yep.
just pay the monthly to the owner in terms of for the right to use it. Okay. And if you decide to leave, then you just pack your stuff and
And
leave.
then go. Correct.
And then go. So if you take the leasing concept of a car, so if you were to buy a car, so example, so we all understand that once you take out the car from the showroom,
Mhm.
the
It's
car
price
depreciates
start
in value
dropping.
automatically.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And the thing is, if you try to sell a car while you still have a loan, most often than not, you have to top up.
Yes. Correct. No, that is
So
true.
you have to top up. That's one. So then, if you want to buy a new car, you also have to pay the down payment for the other car. So that's
Yes.
double the cost. Whereas if you do a leasing, so if let's say you're doing leasing for 3 years, after 3 years you make the decision to change.
Yeah.
So then you just okay, thank you, leasing company. Here's your car, blah 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 blah. Okay, can I get the key for the new car? And you just continue paying monthly. So there's no huge capital outlay.
Right. But why do people lease then? I don't get it. What's
No.
the
So
advantage for most people?
you always say that okay, car is a depreciating asset.
Correct. It is.
Okay, so if you actually do the comparison, okay, so if you let's say take one car, let's say a Mercedes, right? So you're paying let's say 2,000 or 3,000 a month if you
Yep.
purchase it.
Yep.
If you purchase, but you also have to pay a down payment of 10%.
Yes.
That's the additional cost. You pay the cost of the insurance, you pay the
Yep.
maintenance, blah 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 of
And
owning it,
everything lah. Yeah.
everything. Okay, so then you pay for 3 years. After 3 years, you decide, okay, I want to tukar this car. That car doesn't have
Okay.
value because when you have to tukar, you still have to top up to pay to the bank in order to let go of
Yes.
the car.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So then you already keluar at the start deposit. After 3 years, you still have to top up to pay off the bank. So if let's say 10% and here 10%, so that might be let's say lah about 30 to 40,000 let's say 30 to 60,000 ringgit lah, depending on the price of the car. Okay.
Yep.
So that is in the case of purchasing.
Yes.
Okay. So if you lease, you're actually paying about the same, which is about 3,000 a month.
No, my question is, why do banks lease then? They're not making
Banks
money.
lease.
Huh?
Bank doesn't lease.
Okay, so there's no
The lease,
banks that do lease.
it's not banks. Banks do not lease.
Oh,
It would be the car companies. So because
okay.
they have a reason to lease. They want the models to sell. They want
Correct.
the models to earn that income.
Okay, now it makes sense. Okay. I understand now.
Yeah. So
Okay.
banks don't lease. Banks
So
don't lease.
when it comes to leasing, the product is not under your name, lah, no matter what.
No, it's not yours.
Okay.
It doesn't belong to you.
Okay. Paham.
It doesn't belong to you. So you're basically paying the car company saying, okay, I'm gonna use it, blah 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 blah. It's like I would say it's like long-term rental lah.
Yep.
It's like a long-term rental. That's the easiest way for me to explain what leasing is.
Okay, cool. All right, now, we've covered a lot of angles when it comes to buy now, pay now, pay later. We've gone down to leasing as well. But let's now. I think we've got about 15 minutes left. So I want to try and for you to give an idea to people of what to do if you take on buy now, pay later. You know the steps that you have to put in place. Kalau ambil, first thing do what? Next thing do what? Make sure this, so you don't fall into the trap.
Okay, so I think we've already touched a bit. So I will give you two scenarios lah. So
Yep.
the first scenario, if you haven't utilized it and you plan to use it,
Okay.
okay, you plan to use it. So first is you need to understand your overall cash flow situation first.
Yep.
Assuming you do
Okay.
not
That
have
part.
the money. So you're not, let's say, in a situation like me where, okay, I will only purchase using buy now pay later if I do have the money to pay it off.
Correct.
Okay, let's say you don't have that luxury, ne? And say, okay, I still need to buy it. Okay, so understand your cash flow situation first.
First rule:
Okay,
understand cash
so
flow situation.
yeah,
But
so can your cash flow cover the monthly from the buy now pay later scheme?
right.
So
Don't
it's like it's any other loan. It's like any other loans.
betul. So in
Yeah,
other
it's
words,
like any other loan.
it's adding the beban to you. So make sure you can afford it. Don't like
Yeah,
tak apa lah.
yeah. So no. So treat it as any other loans because it is a loan.
Yep.
It is 0% loan. It is 0% no interest loan, but it is still
It's
a
still a
loan.
loan. Yep.
It's still a loan. Okay, so that's the first part. Second part, read the fine print. Not like I said, not all buy now pay later schemes are created equal.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
read the fine print. So generally, the ones from the banks to the credit card companies and everything is clear cut. So it is 0% as long as you finish paying your credit card balances on a monthly basis.
Yes.
Okay, but the ones from the shops and everything, be careful. They might
Ah,
they might have they might have some additional charges that you have to be aware of.
don't get
Okay, that
angry
you have
later
to.
because you
I
signed
don't
off
get
too
angry
early.
later. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't read the fine print, that's your problem. Okay, there's a reason why it's called fine print, and
Correct.
I know most people don't read it. So
Even
after terkena, baru
you know
mengamuk.
the weird part about fine print, sometimes your contracts also some people don't read it, you know. They're just like
Yeah,
sign it.
fine. Yeah. Class. Okay. So read the fine print. So first part is understand your cash flow. Second, once you understood, okay, my cash flow is okay. Read the fine print.
Yeah.
Okay, to make sure that you don't get into any schemes or whatever that basically you're not cashing a check that you cannot honor lah.
Yes.
You're not cashing a check that you cannot honor.
Because
Okay,
that one you can get
so
into trouble.
that one you can get into other trouble later. Okay,
Yeah.
so then third is okay. Um, think think twice lah whether you still want to purchase. So what is the value of buying this thing? Like what's the reason why you need to buy it now when you cannot afford it?
Mhm. It looks good on me.
Uh, so but like, I'm not saying that if let's say if it's still a one you cannot purchase it,
Yeah.
just have the second thought. So decide, so wait maybe 24 hours, 48 hours, then go back to the decision, should I then still proceed? So if the question is okay, this is the reason why I need to do this, blah blah blah, like we said earlier, it can help me generate income, things like that, I'm using it for work, my businesses, etc., go ahead, because
Yeah.
it is that and that. Okay, but if it's just like to show off and everything and you cannot afford it, think twice.
Yeah.
Think twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And fourth is that continue to track, and
Don't
don't
add.
just keep adding. Yeah, don't just keep adding new buy now pay later. And finish paying your credit card. Is if it's a credit card, pay it full, pay it on time.
Yes. Yes. Don't do minimum because minimum will get
Uh,
you into trouble.
Correct. So those would be the steps for somebody who baru nak masuk menceburkan diri dalam this buy now pay later scheme. Okay.
Correct.
So what you need to do if you are already terperangkap dalam buy now pay later scheme?
That's the question I want to ask.
Ah, okay. So first and foremost, get the information. What are the outstandings? What are the outstandings? So if you look at your credit card statements, especially, it would come out okay. Uh, Item A, you will say, okay, 4/6. So that means you already paid 4 times. So there's 2 more times to go. And what is the monthly repayment? Okay. Then there probably another one like 9/12 or 1/12. So you need to identify all of this, identify how it's going to affect your cash flow from now, from the next month, until everything is finished.
And and
Until
and Okay, this one, my advice is on the people that already terlanjur too far. There's always AKPK. Please go talk to them and
That's one lah.
guide yourself out of this trouble. No more adding
Correct.
anything else.
Yeah, so you should not be adding anything. But if let's say when you look at it, your cash flow can still cover it, then
Yep.
just continue paying. Don't think about debt consolidation, because when
Yep.
you do debt consolidation, now you're adding interest to it.
Yes, 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 yes,
You're
yes.
adding interest to it, and there's additional cost with regard to debt consolidation. Don't do it.
Yes, 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 yes,
Don't do
yes,
it. Okay.
yes,
So
yes.
if you can, but if let's say you're in a situation where you can't afford to pay the monthly. So you basically your
Overdid it
belanja
already
like
lah.
overdid it and everything, and the monthly is like maybe more than what you can afford. Okay,
Yep.
so yeah, this is okay. I need to go to AKPK question one, or okay, can I then look into consolidation and everything? So basically, but the thing is, consolidation you might be consolidate all your loans, but it might increase the total cost because you are extending the duration of the repayment. So it's giving you short-term relief with regards to your cash flow. But if you don't manage it properly, you then after, oh yeah, now I'm already lega. Let's do more buy now, pay later schemes. Then you're gonna be stuck later lah.
If you do that, then you really don't learn from your mistakes lah. That's all I
Uh-huh.
can say lah.
You don't learn from
Kau,
your mistakes.
kau ni memang lah, memang
Me-
lah. Okay.
Memang mencari masalah. Memang mencari masalah.
Correct, correct. Do we have any other questions? No. So we've covered a lot today. We've actually, I want to highlight a few people on Twitter who actually gave their feedback after we posted the thing. Just a reminder to everybody watching, remember, scan now for free financial health check. That's your code out there. And also follow Wealth Vantage for all your insight. If I can see the comments from the people who put up. So Tasha, she says, I don't know that, but I can never do installment plan because I'm the type of person that thinks that if I can't pay full means I can't afford it right now, so I have to save until I can, which is not a bad way of thinking. I know it's not
Mm.
like that, but my head just won't let me do it. I get anxious jika berhutang. Fair enough. Erica Spark says, nah, not for me. Kang terlupa bayar lepas tu kena interest. At least she knows, bila tak
Mm.
tak ya payah pay now or tak pay tak payah beli. Or tunggu and budget, why burden you myself? Good enough. And lastly, Putri Farah says, the concept is not for me. If buying with the mindset of nantilah masa gaji, make sure can pay. What if the gaji lambat masuk? Oh, that's a good point. What if you got an emergency, not enough money to settle? Very good points that I forgot to mention also. Thank you. We can take down the tweets already, which is when Rafiq was talking about your cash flow and stuff like that. Your emergency money also is very important. So
Mm.
the cash flow also involves the emergency in case anything happen. Do you have any leeway for to save yourself? So those are the things to check. Victor's got something else to add. Our champion Victor, he's got some advice. I do this for my son's university's fees, splitting
Mm.
it, but I keep the same amount in another investment that gives higher returns than the interest in the admin fees charge. Oh, okay. That's actually quite pandai juga.
Yeah, so it can be done. Okay, so
Yes.
it's not that far off from the concept when you were asking earlier. So what would I do BNPL? I would, because I know how to manage my finances. I know how to take advantage of the instruments. So I would say, okay, why put out the upfront now, even though I can afford it? So pay smaller chunks and everything. So basically, what Victor is doing isn't that far off. Isn't that far off. So he's taking advantage. So instead of paying the full amount, so he said, okay, I'm splitting it, but the amount that I should have paid, I'm going to put it in something that gives me a higher return, so that uh, I can cover the cost of admin fees plus get a bit more. get a bit
And
more. So, but this is actually very dependent on the amount lah, because sometimes when
correct.
the amount is too small and everything with the additional work that you have to do, it doesn't make. Not to say that you don't earn something out of it, but I think the amount that you earn might be lesser than the actual work that you have to do.
Which leads me to the fact that sometimes orang kaya, I mean the wealthy also do this, but
Yep.
in bigger amount of money lah.
Correct.
So the wealthy do this bigger money because they know how to get interest out of, rather than give you all the money. I just pay sikit, and then
So they
take
understand what this
advantage.
concept, what we call about time value of money. They understand that concept. They understand the concept. They know how to play around with it to their advantage. But sometimes you need to understand, when you talk about wealthy people, you talk about affluent people, usually they have somebody advising them.
Correct. There's someone telling them what to do.
Yeah,
Just they've
because
got a big
because
pool.
if you think about it, lah, if somebody like Bill Gates has somebody advising him about how to manage his finances, okay, why wouldn't, let's say, the average salary man who, let's say, can afford to have a financial planner to provide them advice, can't take advantage of it? Okay, yeah, take note.
Because
Yeah, Bill Gates has a financial planner, by the way.
no, I'm very sure that all of them have financial
Yeah.
planners, because it it's like you go to the people who know the best way to. It's like if you want to plant something, you don't go to a doctor and say, "Hey, doctor, come help me plant sayo." You go to a farmer. Go, "Hey, farmer, come here, help me
Mm.
grow." So you go to people who know what they're doing to help you grow your wealth. That's the most important thing. Which leads me to once again reminding everybody, thank you so much for watching this. If you're watching this later, please share this with all your friends. Comment as much in it, because when you do that, we're trying to feed the algorithm gods. When you feed the algorithm gods, more people get to see this. Uh, and then, more people learn from this, because what we're trying to do here is increase the financial knowledge of everybody. And that's why we're doing this. And that's how we all got in touch with each other, Rafiq and me. You can scan the scan down here and also up there to get your free one-on-one consulting when it comes to your financial health check. But if you want to go further on, then of course you can engage our champions here at Wealth Vantage and follow Wealth Vantage at all the social media. It today was interesting. Unfortunately, no one tried to ask us on Clubhouse, and then the internet went klangkabut, which was very
Yeah.
upsetting.
I think it's okay. It's a first try. It's a
Yes,
first try.
but
We can keep trying it next time and see what
correct,
happens.
correct. I mean, like, there was actually a lot of people on Clubhouse.
Mm.
So there was about 8 people, or 8 or 9 people on Clubhouse just watching, listening.
It's
So I'm
okay.
like, hey, cool. Ada orang kat sana tu.
Yeah.
Sebab orang segan sometimes. So once again, guys, we're coming to close to the end of the show. The buy now, pay later concept. Buy now, pay later is not a bad thing. It's a bad thing if you don't know how to manage it. As simple as that. So if you're the type of person who doesn't look at your finances, doesn't look at your statements and all that, then don't do buy now pay later, because you're not aware of what's happening. But if you're very aware of your finances and how you use it, take advantage of all financial tools that are out there. We're not saying it's a bad thing. It's just be wise with it. Anything else you want to add, Rafiq?
That's it.
Cool. Once again, if you're just watching this, put down the comments if you got anything you want us to cover next time we go live.
Mm.
Any other topic that you want us to cover, put it in the comments. We'll try our best to comment and talk about it, and then we'll see what we go from there. Okay?
Okay.
Cool lah. So this week we are actually ngam on time. Not over or lesser, but still we've got internet problem. Before the internet cuts off again, we're gonna say good night. Thank you
Yeah,
so
have a
much
good
for
weekend,
watching,
everyone.
and we'll
Yeah.
see you soon. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Okay, bye.